Hey there, YouTube. Superbrain AK here. And well, you are on the Insta 360 1R 4K wide angle. And this is the first video I'm shooting on this, but it might just be the last, because, well, I don't know if you can actually focus on anything here. That's my return date. But yeah, there's the stuff. Probably all blurry. 4K 60, 12 megapixel camera, stabilized, waterproof, and adaptive. So, yeah, I just got the 4K wide angle mod, which probably the 1-inch sensor would be a lot better, but that's like another $200, $300. But anyway, I figured I'd give you guys an update video on this guy before I return it. So you can see I've got stuff back here working on. I'm working on my DC battery power distribution. If you can see that there. Maybe I'll have to crop in for it because you're all the way back. But anyway, so I've got, all the 12-volt lead acid batteries that I've got, from random UPSs, power chairs, and other stuff. And the ones that are still, kind of good, I've got them all wired up. And I'm using these fuse blocks. And, I'm going to connect them all in parallel. This one is the other fuse block 2. But the first fuse block has currently 5 SLAs on it. And then, because there's 6-way blocks, and then I'm going to have a constant current power supply, which I'm currently using a DPS 5005, powered from a Dell charger, 130 watt, 19 volt charger. And then, so that's going to be my mains in, or I can do, solar panel. But the main goal of this is to have regenerative discharge capabilities of the M8S, which can regenerative discharge up to 18 amps. So I was wanting to fully test this guy. So basically these SLAs are acting as a buffer. So this guy is, whenever this is powered, this guy is putting power into these, to keep them relatively topped up. And then also power can go through an ideal diode to the output of this Fujitsu DC to DC car adapter, which I've just got replaced with XT60s on the output. So yeah, this will actually be my, low voltage protection. And yeah, so ZB206 dischargers, 150 watt DC load, to actually power him. Get the 12 volts in to spin the fan and all the electronics of it. Power to the MC3000, because all of these will be running on 12 volts, and then all of this will be running on 19 volts, just because, higher voltage. So yeah, MC3000 will be powered directly off 12 volts, because it can't handle 19 volts coming in. It stops at 18, which is annoying. And yeah. And yeah, maybe the 1500 watt boost converter. And then as I'm regenerative discharging, the voltage might go too high, so I'll probably put a voltage capped DC load just to keep the voltage down to 14 volts. And then off the 19 volts, which should either be powered directly from mains or from the Fujitsu, and 7-way charger, that's my TP500 wall. That's these guys up there. And then these are the ZB206. Those will take 12 volts because they're, linear regulators. Don't need to be high voltage transmission for those. So yeah. And then I want to replace my USB charging hub with a quick charge one, probably from AliExpress. One of those boards with a acrylic box. And then, of course, the TS100, which is currently being powered from another power supply. But yeah, so that's the plan. Okay. Probably gonna need more light, so here we've got it. So that's the power supply. That's the first fuse block. And then I do have this UPS here, but that is not connected to the fuse block. I originally was going to, but that's not going to work out because this is battery negative to mains negative, not neutral, mains negative. So anyway, that's just going to keep its little 3.6 amp hour SLA inside, which is about 2 amp hours right now. So it's plenty. But yeah, so I've got three about 7 amp hour ones, SLAs, and then I've got a 33 amp hour one, and then I think this guy's 15 or something, that gray one. But yeah, all those wires combine into there. And I've got appropriate fuses. And then if you see that white and black going off to the right and up, that actually goes up to this DPS 5005. So you can see I've got an ideal diode module there on the output of the 5005. And then I've got my original DC distribution block, which was running on a 13.3 volt Dell power supply. And yes, I modified the voltage a long time ago. I don't know if I've really made a good video about that, but I made a video about it. And then you can see the DPS 5005 there on constant voltage. And I did set it. Alright, let's bring the brightness up. I did set it to be automatically on. So when the power turns on, it'll automatically turn its output on to whatever the last state was. So yeah, so he's just being fed by 19.7, and the Dell power supply, maybe you can see it back here, I doubt it. This guy, 130 watt Dell, he is a higher voltage than that Fujitsu one. So I'll just have two ideal diodes pointing towards each other, and then it'll run off mains because it's a higher voltage, and if mains goes away, it'll run off the Fujitsu. Now I do need to make sure that when the Fujitsu's running, this guy isn't cycling power around. So yeah, got the cords here. So yeah, these are all the cords that I pulled out of this guy, because these aren't actually going to be used connecting to that anymore, because that's 19 volts now, and all of these cords were for 12 volt appliances. So I'm probably going to add more blocks on there, which is why I left this sitting there. for future expansions. So yeah, that's the update video on my room here. By the way, check out DIY Energy Pack. Link is in the description. That's where we chat about electronics and big batteries. There's a couple pictures. So yeah, that's a big crusty SLA. Anyway, I'm gonna end off the video here. I can't think of anything else to say, but I do have plans for a new video camera, which is going to be, a lot more expensive. Probably 2.5 times as expensive as what this was for $250. But it's the best one on the market right now. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully everything wasn't too out of focus. But I'll see you guys in the next video.